Good morning. This is Sally Morgan, physical therapist, craniosacral therapist, and Tellington T-Touch practitioner for animals and people. This is Tristan. He's a Corgi. And this is an episode of Conversations with a Corgi. And we're going to continue our discussion today about things that we learn from dogs. If he's not shedding, I am. It's ridiculous. Anyway, and today we're going to talk about one of the most important things we can learn from dogs. And it's not something that everyone immediately notices about dogs, and that is their quality of gentleness. Dogs can be so gentle with their toys when they're meeting, for my dog, meeting a bunny. He's so careful. Not with the cat so much, but with a bunny, or some dogs are really careful meeting new dogs and gentle with them, meeting a little child, meeting a new person. Many dogs that do therapy work or reading work are very gentle with new kids and with how they move around the room. Therapy dogs in the hospital setting with people in wheelchairs are very gentle. And gentleness is an important thing for us to have right now, especially towards ourselves and the people in our lives. And gentleness really is kindness, tenderness, tolerance, and being sort of mild-mannered. Although mild-mannered, I think, is a little bit of an overreach because gentleness can also be strength. And mild manners implies that you're just, like the guy Wimpy on Popeye saying, I'll have a hamburger on Thursday and I'll kindly repay you on Friday. There's a mildness, but there's also a kind of a softness with strength. And again, this comes from the important factor, confidence. And this is another aspect of T-Touch and why it's so important with our dogs to not, challenge their confidence to be lost while we're training them and working with them and doing things with them. Confidence is so important. And to improve confidence and encourage confidence, you as a trainer need gentleness, and you need to make whatever you're doing with your dog easy enough that he can do it. For instance, the baby Corgi does not really want to do jumps, is kind of scared of the most little of the agility things, and he won't even walk over a pole on the ground. So just getting him to walk in circles around a pole on the ground, giving him a lot of treats. I'm standing on the pole, he's eating treats from my hand. These are all things that we do to break down that exercise so that he can gently learn that the pole isn't going to hurt him. And this is a dog who's going to love to jump, but he's still afraid of things like that. And there's no reason especially for it. I mean, he has not been traumatized by anything, but he just is a puppy still, and he's lacking the confidence to be able to, take a challenge that's new and scary to him, especially at my house because it's a new place, and then we've got this big Corgi here telling him what to do, who's not as gentle as I might be. And it's a lot for the little Corgi. So, that's how we can translate that to all of our training with young dogs, putting them on a leash and dragging them. Like I saw some people trying to walk on the beach with a puppy and they were just dragging him. Like literally the puppy wasn't moving and they were pulling him down the beach by his leash. This is not a gentle way of training. And you cannot take a puppy for a long walk on a beach if he does not know how to walk on a leash. And another person came by with a dog that looked exactly like the puppy, only full grown. And that person had gentleness and to help that puppy get confidence. And she circled around and around with her dog, getting the puppy to follow and then playing and getting the puppy to come. And it made such a difference. That kind of softness comes from confidence in your dog and in yourself. And you can be gentle and be firm, when you're scolding a child, for instance. Being sarcastic and scolding doesn't get you very far, but being firm and gentle usually does. And I've had several friends of mine at the barn in various times of my life with their children, and kids out of control in a barn is a dangerous situation by any step of the imagination, right, Tristan? And you cannot be screaming at them and getting them upset and having them fall on the ground and all the stuff that kids do when they're really upset. But you need to be firm and gentle. And I have seen moms just get down on the kids' level and very firmly say, no, you cannot go in the stall. It's not safe. And they're kind. They say, I love you. and I want you to be safe. Don't go in through this door. You stand right there. And boy, I mean, maybe these are super moms, because some of them really are great moms, but that quality of gentleness helps make them even better moms. And their kids are all like 16 now, and they're all doing great. So I know that gentleness and firmness makes a big difference, but that applies to how we train our animals too. You know, when you are gentle, you're considerate. You think about how what you're going to say is going to impact the other person or the dog, and you are concerned about how that's going to hit them. So instead of being sarcastic and saying, well, you know, you're a great ball player, which I'm not, it'll be better to say, well, that try was better than your last one, but we need a lot more practice. Those are totally different ways of saying the same thing. So being considerate of other people's feelings, and that's what my dog is doing. When I ask him to be gentle with the bunnies, wild or tame, he is very slow and cautious with them. He doesn't chase them. He doesn't jump at them. He doesn't bark at them, because we know bunnies are highly valued in this house as friends, right, Tristan? He said, yeah, we don't play with bunnies. So, you know, we have to be gentle, and part of being considerate is being amiable, which is also part of that is being easygoing. And that, again, comes back to confidence in yourself, knowing that no matter what happens in this situation, you've got it. You know what you're going to say. You know how this is going to work out. You know how you're going to handle this, so that you can be gentle. And that gentleness also comes from understanding of what's going on with the other person or animal that you're working with. You know, I know that baby Corgi is terrified of those poles on the ground. And as much as it seems easy to walk over a pole, it's not for him. And I have to be really considerate of his situation and be understanding of why that might be hard for him. You know, he's got a chronic problem with one of his shoulders sometimes. He's getting treated for Lyme disease. He's got a lot going on. And so stepping over a pole is not so easy. And, you know, when we set up our T-Touch Confidence course at classes, people like me who do agility sometimes are like, well, this isn't very hard. But it is hard. If you go really slowly and watch the dogs, and they have to figure out how to get their balance and not run through things with momentum, but really think about where they're putting their limbs and balancing their body, it's very difficult. And they're tired mentally after doing the confidence course quite a few times. And you need to give them a little playtime in between. And, you know, as T-Touch practitioners, we well understand this, and we have learned gentleness from years and years and years and years, 40 years of doing this work and seeing the effect it has on the animals that we work with. And I don't know that, you know, a parent sometimes can't be always patient because they have other stuff going on that is upsetting to them. And then, you know, they might yell at their child inadvertently when the kid's only done one tiny thing, like not turning the TV off quick enough to have dinner. And the parent will blow up because they had a horrible day at work. But you need to go back to gentleness, which we can see in our dogs. You see how a mother dog is with her puppies. Even when they're playing, even when 2 one-year-old dogs are rough and tumble playing, they are truly sorry when they hurt the other dog, or if the other dog screams and does a little squeak like they bit a little too hard. They always stop and look like, oh my God, I'm so sorry, I didn't mean that. Dogs are gentle creatures, aren't you? Those pack animals, they want everything to be for the benefit of the group. So gentleness, an important quality that we can learn from our dogs. And I am so happy that in the horse world, this word gentle is being used instead of breaking a horse. Now we gentle them. Big difference. Big difference in attitude of the trainer. Big difference in how you work with the horse. And big difference in how we talk about starting a horse. So that's been a breakthrough. So at this time too, with so much unrest socially, and you know, still worrying about COVID, and then being mad that you have to wear a mask, mad that somebody else isn't wearing a mask. You know, there's just so many things to upset us in the world, and it's important to be gentle with yourself. And if you are gentle with yourself and saying, you know what, I've had a really hard day and I just like cracked at that point, and I'll try to be better tomorrow. Just recognizing that you've done a good job sometimes can help you do a good job another time. So no matter what it is you're doing, it could be just one specific task in your workday, you know, learning how to use Zoom, learning how to work out your new phone, whatever it is. Be gentle with yourself, and that will help you be gentle with the animals and all the people in your life. Right, Tristan? Thanks for joining us for this episode of Conversations with a Corgi. Sorry I missed you yesterday. We had dog school. See, I can't even predict 24 hours out. What's today? Thursday. I think we'll be here tomorrow, not on the weekend. And then my educator job resumes, which means most Mondays and Wednesdays I won't be available, but not all of them. So we will see you then. Everybody, go out into the world and be gentle. Thanks for joining us.